Welcome to UXL, where you can learn new skills anytime and anywhere. Visit uxl.com to explore our full course selection. This lesson is part of a larger course. Check the video description below for a link to the full course where you can enroll. If you enjoy our content, please like and subscribe. For your convenience, the course cover displayed on your screen provides the complete course title and lesson title. Let's proceed with the lesson. Lesson: Securing U.S. Resources with IAM. Securing AWS resources with identity and access management is a critical component of maintaining robust cloud security. Identity and access management in AWS allows you to manage access to AWS services and resources securely. With IAM, you can create and manage AWS users and groups, and use permissions to allow and deny their access to AWS resources. This lesson explores the mechanisms, best practices, and strategic importance of IAM in the AWS environment. IAM is essential in AWS as it provides the means to control who is authenticated and authorized to use resources. At its core, IAM is about managing identities and their access to resources. An identity in IAM represents an individual, service, or application that requires access to AWS resources. It could be a user who logs into the AWS Management Console or an application that accesses AWS services programmatically. Central to IAM are policies, which are JSON documents that define permissions. These policies can be attached to users, groups, or roles, specifying what actions are allowed or denied on which AWS resources. Policies are crucial because they enable fine-grained control over access, allowing you to enforce the principle of least privilege. This principle ensures that users and applications only have the minimum permissions necessary to perform their tasks, thus reducing the risk of accidental or malicious actions. A study by Gartner emphasized that 99% of cloud security failures will be the customer's fault, particularly due to mismanagement of identities, access, and credentials. This statistic underscores the importance of effective IAM practices. For instance, consider a scenario where an organization fails to enforce multi-factor authentication for its users. An attacker who obtains a user's password could gain unfettered access to sensitive AWS resources. Implementing MFA, which requires a second form of authentication, such as a code sent to a mobile device, significantly reduces this risk. Roles in IAM are another critical component. Unlike users, which represent individuals, roles are intended to be assumed by anyone who needs them, whether it be a person or an application. Roles are particularly useful in scenarios where temporary access is needed, such as when an EC2 instance needs to access S3 buckets. By assuming a role, the instance can perform the necessary tasks without needing long-term credentials. This approach not only enhances security, but also simplifies credential management. IAM also supports the concept of federated access, which allows you to use external identity providers to grant users access to AWS resources. Federated access is useful for organizations that want to leverage existing identity systems, such as Active Directory, to manage AWS access. For example, an organization can configure AWS to trust its corporate identity provider. When users authenticate with the corporate system, they are granted temporary AWS credentials based on their corporate identity and the associated IAM policies. This setup ensures consistency and central control over identities while providing seamless access to AWS resources. The use of IAM roles in combination with AWS Organizations, a service that helps you centrally manage and govern your environment as you grow and scale your AWS resources, can bring additional security benefits. AWS Organizations allows you to create service control policies that apply across your AWS accounts, restricting what actions users and roles can perform. For example, an SCP can be used to ensure that no user in any account can delete critical S3 buckets, regardless of their specific IAM permissions. This layer of control is vital for maintaining security across a large organization with multiple AWS accounts. Logging and monitoring are also integral to effective IAM management. AWS CloudTrail provides comprehensive logging of all API calls made within an account, capturing details about who made the request, when it was made, and what actions were performed. By analyzing CloudTrail logs, security teams can detect unusual or unauthorized activity, such as an unexpected user attempting to access sensitive data. Coupled with AWS Config, which monitors and records your AWS resource configurations, you can ensure that your IAM policies and roles remain compliant with your security requirements. A real-world example of the importance of IAM can be seen in the case of Capital One's data breach in 2019. The breach, which exposed the personal information of over 100 million customers, was attributed to a misconfigured firewall and excessive permissions granted to an IAM role. This incident highlights the criticality of meticulous IAM configuration and the potential consequences of neglecting IAM best practices. To mitigate such risks, a best practice is to regularly review and audit IAM roles and policies. Tools like IAM Access Analyzer can help by identifying resources that are shared with an external entity, ensuring that any unintended permissions are promptly addressed. Additionally, implementing automated scripts to enforce IAM policies and regularly rotating access keys can further strengthen security. Another significant aspect of IAM is managing permissions boundaries, which allow you to set the maximum permissions that an IAM entity can have. This is particularly useful in controlling the permissions of developers or applications that create other IAM entities. By setting a permissions boundary, you can ensure that these newly created entities cannot exceed the predefined permissions, thus maintaining a consistent security posture. AWS also offers features to simplify and enhance IAM management, such as AWS Single Sign-On. AWS SSO allows you to manage SSO access to multiple AWS accounts and business applications, providing a unified access management experience. With AWS SSO, users can sign in with their existing corporate credentials, and administrators can centrally manage access permissions, reducing the complexity of managing individual IAM users across multiple accounts. In conclusion, securing AWS resources with IAM is a multifaceted endeavor that requires a thorough understanding of identities, policies, roles, and access controls. By adhering to best practices such as enforcing the principle of least privilege, implementing MFA, leveraging federated access, and regularly auditing IAM configurations, organizations can significantly enhance their AWS security posture. The importance of IAM is further underscored by real-world incidents and industry statistics, which highlight the potential risks of inadequate IAM management. As organizations continue to rely on AWS for their cloud infrastructure, robust IAM practices will remain a cornerstone of effective cloud security strategy. This concludes the lesson. We trust you found this video informative and engaging. To enroll in the complete course, please use the link provided in the description below. At UXL, we are committed to your learning journey. Each course offers a certificate of completion, online support, and downloadable resource files to enhance your experience. If you found our content valuable, we invite you to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to supporting your continued pursuit of knowledge.